Wait to premiere it.
Oh, look at all those wonderful people in the chat.
I know. Oh, Dave.
And Dave.
And Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, wait a minute. That's too funny. Let's push a couple of buttons here and see who joined us. Hey, everybody. We should create a nice little jingle for Scarif Live. It's still okay to like Star Wars. Yes, it is.
That's all you, buddy.
Is it though? I don't know if it is.
Well, that's an interesting comment because I've had some conversations with some friends of mine that supposedly like Star Wars, but for some reason they hate Kenobi. I don't know why. Yeah, this we got Brad, we got Shanti, I am Ro from the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. Team Scarif is in the house, and so is everybody in the chat. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will start right now.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Yeah, it is.
It is, isn't it? Thank you guys, everybody, for coming down here. At our show, the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast.
Hi.
Who do we got in the chat? We got Tina, we got Frank, we got Nicole, we got Lunar Girl. Let's scroll up here. Hectolorian, what's up, guys? Let's see. Tina.
Dragon buddy.
Madam. Oh, that's you. Excellent. Yeah, thank you for joining us. We just as a reminder, we are doing these Scarif Lives on Saturdays. Well, today is Sunday. Some stuff came up yesterday, so we kind of postponed it for tonight. Looking forward to kind of breaking down Kenobi. You know, we'll be doing these breakdowns on these shows. You know, when they come out, we'll probably do, you know, Andor when it comes out. So Saturdays will be our Saturdays or Sundays, I guess, are backup day. But yeah, Kenobi episode 3. Are they calling them episodes or chapters? I'm not paying attention now.
I think it's episodes.
Part 1, 2.
It's been part 1, part 2, part 3. Yeah.
Okay. So we're halfway through, huh? Halfway through.
I was not ready for this last episode.
Well, yeah, we will talk about that in a minute, but wanted to touch base with you guys and see if there's any other nerd news that you guys are excited about.
I got to show off something that I got yesterday.
Okay.
Amy and I went to Command Fest in Richmond, which is
Command Fest.
Yeah, so it's a Magic the Gathering thing. But they have they have a bunch of the artists that do the artwork for the cards there. And I was able to get some signed cards. But one of the artists, Eric DeChamp, one of the other things he made was this Last Supper.
Oh.
So I don't know why imagine MTG guys making Star Wars prints, but I had to get that while I was there.
Very nice.
And, so we're going to get that framed and put that up. I don't know what wall space we're going to use for that, but we'll figure it out.
Very nice. You got some nice prints behind you anyways.
Yep.
A little Boba Fett, Master Yoda, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Excellent. What else is everybody watching? We've got Stranger Things out. We've got The Boys. We've got shows like, there you go, your Hellfire Club t-shirt. Some other wonderful shows that are coming up. Brad,
Stranger Things, you know, episode or
awesome.
Season 1. Yeah, season 1. It's hard to tell whether this season or season 1's my favorite. I think it's actually this current season might be my favorite. And we have volume 2 coming out July 1st. I don't want to give away any spoilers. I do want to do a Stranger Things
too.
show for sure, because there's so much to unpack with that show. I can even talk about where the idea for that show came from. That's for another topic, though. But it's really good. They said it was going to be worth the wait for this one, and the episodes are an hour plus long, and it's like you're watching a movie every single episode. So if you haven't checked out Stranger Things, if you haven't watched in a while, because I didn't realize season 3 was 3 years ago when that came out. So do yourself a favor, either do a rewatch or just there's plenty of recap videos on YouTube. Do that first before you watch this episode. But there's actually a few Star Wars references in there. They're subtle, but you can catch them. And of course, a million D&D references there too. So speaking of D&D, you were talking about recent things. My kids were up here in Virginia this week, so I was able to have lots of fun with the kids. And Dylan, who is 8 years old, got to be the dungeon master for the first time.
Very nice.
So, and he had a great time. He did very well. If anybody's ever played D&D, the job of the DM is a difficult one, and he handled it very well, especially for an 8-year-old kid. But
very nice.
Speaking of that, it made me think about an old episode that you did with Fan Dads.
Yeah, and, our friend Victor.
Yep, and that was all about geek parenting and what it's like to be a geek and to share that kind of thing with your kids. And if you guys want to go back and check that out, go back and check out episode 53. I think it was episode 53. We had Fan Dads on the show, and a lot of fun there. So please check that out when you get a chance. Make sure you pass down your nerd ways to the kids so we can keep this thing going.
That's one of the coolest things about being a dad, being a nerd dad, a nerd parent, I guess, is you pass down that fandom down to your offspring, to your spawn, as they say. But yeah, really cool. Getting ready for all Star Wars that is about to drop. We are August, end of August. Was it end of August or beginning of August that Andor is going to drop? And like I said earlier, we will be having Scarif Live on Saturdays to break down Andor as well, like we have been doing in the past with Book of Boba Fett and now Kenobi. Really looking forward to that. But in kind of preparation, I'd love to go back to like Rogue One and Rogue One material. You've got Rebels that kind of reintroduced Saw Gerrera. But speaking of Scarif replay, if you guys have not kind of checked out some of our back catalog episodes, episode 34, we did a wonderful discussion with Pat and Charles of Conversations. Talked about Saw Gerrera, really broke it down.
That was a good one.
That was a really good one. I loved, kind of breaking apart the dynamic between Saw Gerrera and Mon Mothma. And I'm really hoping that we get a little more of that in Andor. It looks like a very, politically political intrigue type of storyline. So
she's got really they show her quite a bit in the trailer. So I hope it's true in the show. I think she's a terrific actress.
Me too.
And so I hope she plays a big part in that show.
Absolutely. Love it. Shanti, what are you watching? And then, you know what? We've got our special guest backstage. We're going to bring him out and ask him what he's watching, but I wanted to ask Shanti, what you're watching. I know I mentioned, before we went on live, I mentioned Umbrella Academy to Brad, and it's something that I really like. I still haven't gone back to watch Stranger Things because there's a lot that I'm watching, but again, like 3 years.
I know. That's the problem. Like, I figure I have never even watched Umbrella Academy, so I have to add that to the list. I have to add The Boys to the list because I haven't watched that at all.
Oh, you haven't watched The Boys either? Oh,
no, and I know that started season 3, but I know I've said a couple of times that I actually don't like to binge, but I binged Stranger Things. I just could not stop. And like Brad said, I have been going back now and rewatching it because after 3 years, I was really confused by
Yeah,
some of the
that's why I'm
ages and
not
the
going back.
timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
you should
forgot
just
what
go back
happened.
and start from the beginning, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's nice to go back. And this is probably very non-nerd, but like tonight is the new episode of Barry on HBO Max. So I'm really, really into that show. So that's the other one that I'm actually watching right now.
Cool. We got folks in the chat really excited about Umbrella Academy. Brad, I know you have been told to get your act together and pick that show up.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would,
deficient. Yeah, my better half told me I need to watch that because like, apparently a lot of it revolves around the JFK assassination, which I didn't even realize. So I definitely need to get on the wagon on that one.
Excellent. Later on, guys, in the chat, last week we had a giveaway. I gave away a Funko Pop, a Luke Skywalker holding a little baby Grogu Funko Pop. We asked a question, you guys answered, and our friend Kelly won that prize. This week, at the end of the broadcast, we will be giving away a digital code for Dune. If you haven't watched Dune, I'll give you guys a digital code. Brad has a question that I hope you will answer. And yeah, Dune. I started watching this. My mistake is I started watching it at 1 a.m. and I
Yeah, don't
fell
do
asleep.
that.
Don't do
Yeah,
that. Anyways, let's bring in our guest John and see what kind of things he's been watching, and
Did you
then we'll
finish?
start
Final?
talking. No, I didn't. Here's John.
Heyo!
Heyo.
What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
Thank you, John, for joining us.
No,
We
my
are
pleasure.
we're very excited to, we usually pick a friend to talk about, our Star Wars fix that we get every week. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to come by.
Oh man, I've been chomping at the bit. I've been wanting to talk about Kenobi for a while.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We'll
I heard you
definitely
guys
do
talking
that.
about. I heard you guys talking about Stranger Things and Umbrella Academy. Those are great shows.
Absolutely.
Especially Stranger Things right now because all the kids are getting introduced to Kate Bush.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard they were
Which
doing
is-
some really great stuff with music.
They made me listen to it on Spotify on repeat in the car after we watched the show.
I think it's the
They
number
are.
one song on iTunes, and I think that it went to number 8 in the UK charts this week.
Jeez.
Oh, very nice.
Pretty awesome,
Yeah.
Skyrocketed to
Sounds like
number 1
30.
on Apple Music.
Yeah, it sounds like almost 40 years old.
Mhm.
And it can save you in a pinch if some supernatural being.
I agree.
is
Someone
trying to
says
get
earlier,
stuff.
this is definitely the most violent season.
Oh, it's dark.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
I gotta start on that. I got so much stuff I'm watching, so and not a lot of time. But
Very.
absolutely. So episode, or as Shanti said, part 3 of the
So much to
Kenobi
watch.
series on Disney
I
Plus.
like that.
Holy
Part 3.
moly. There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Let's get down to business. I know the folks in the chat are also chomping at the bit. Brad, I'm going to start with you because you usually have some really great insight. We've been talking about this for a while. We've been anticipating. We're trying to figure out, when we would have seen Darth Vader, what is going on. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of buzz on the internet, man, talking about this Darth Vader rematch with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Some people like it. Some people are confused. What's going on in your head, Brad?
Yeah. So as usual, I've been wrong about my predictions. What was it? Mandalorian. And when we were doing those shows, all my predictions were just flat out wrong. So I thought I knew Star Wars. Turns out I don't know jack about Star Wars. I thought we were going to see Darth Vader the last 20 minutes of the last episode. It was all teasing towards that. Was totally not ready to see Mustafar, him, sitting on, his throne like that. Wasn't ready for all that. And I know there's a lot of criticism, or there's some, I don't know about a lot, but some criticism about how the lightsaber fight, the duel, if you want to call it that, how that turned out. But I think they did that very well.
Mm-hmm.
And as you notice, my name today, it's still okay to like Star Wars. We talked about this, before the show even started, how our expectations are so high for Star Wars these days that it makes it hard to just enjoy it as a show. And I wanted to come with some ammunition today because, these are some of our favorite movies of all time. But not that I really care about what Rotten Tomatoes normally has to say about anything. But I want to share some of the scores of Rotten Tomatoes. The Phantom Menace had 51% on Rotten Tomatoes. Right above that was The Rise of Skywalker at 52%. And then Episode 2, 65%. And Solo at 69%. And they kind of drift up. Of course, the highest being Empire Strikes Back, 95%, somewhere around there, as to be expected. So, my question is, when did Star Wars have to be perfect,
Rated?
theatrically speaking, for us to enjoy it? They never have been, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been the best, the most well-written, best directed shows, but we just enjoy them for what they were. So I think we need just to stop being
Calm
so
down.
critical and just enjoy it for the story that it is.
Yeah, it's not Citizen Kane.
No, thank you. Oh my God. This is why I don't theorize. This is why I don't come up with any of my own predictions. My only expectation is that it's good and it makes sense. But the problem is everyone wants that to be met, and you're not the one writing the show.
You can do that. We've always theorized, what do you think is going to happen next week? What do you think is going to happen with this character? I think that's fine to do. It's what fans do all across the board, whether it's Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever. But I think the problem is when you expect your theories to become canon. You expect your theories to, if it doesn't turn out this way, then damn it, I'm not going to watch.
Then you're always going to be disappointed.
Right. So I think it's the choices that we make and how we deal with our own fandom that really counts. I think we're in this weird era of social media where everyone has a platform. Hence, we're sitting here talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have to do it in a way that that sparks conversation, not rage. Right. It's unfortunate, and I don't think there's a lot of people out there that know the difference. Mm-hmm. Brad's got that thing on his banner, tongue in cheek, but yeah, it's okay to love Star Wars and to like Star Wars. What it's not okay is to just constantly berate other fans and yell at other people for liking what they like. Enough already. Jesus.
Agreed.
If you like it, you're wrong. That's
awful.
I know, we've been on the show talking about some aspects of Star Wars that we don't like, but I'd like to think that we're not sitting here yelling and say, hey, I'm going to make another video about why this sucks.
Right.
It's just not, that's not us. That's not us.
There's also a lot of impatience too, that I can't stand.
Yeah, I mean, people right now are freaking out. We're halfway into the show, and obviously there's still questions, but people have already made up their mind. Like, well, this is crap. Well,
it's not over yet.
The story isn't complete yet.
I know.
He's halfway through the hero's journey. It's not. We're not there yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up the hero's journey because I love the. I think we're going to criticize the criticizers on this show here.
Yeah.
I was speaking with somebody on I think it might have been Tina on Twitter about this, how Kenobi is not acting like Kenobi. This is a broken man.
Yeah.
His entire family of hundreds from thousands to hundreds of Jedi died. And he had to put himself in exile. And you want him to act like Episode 3 or Clone Wars, Kenobi.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Oh, it doesn't make sense at all.
So, like, I was enraged in the first 2 episodes when, they're the hunting the Jedi, and he didn't do anything about it. I was so pissed off. I'm like, come on, man, but that's exactly like he would have acted and should have acted. So, I think it's to your point, Ro. There, like, just because you want him to act a certain way,
Sure.
That's not reality.
Right. All right, let's get off this rage train and talk about the stuff that we really like. Some aspects of this episode that really excited us. John, I know you're itching at the bit. What are some of the things that really made you like your jaw drop? And obviously, we're going to talk about certain aspects of it. Again, spoilers for everybody who's not seen it. What are you doing here? But John, what got you excited on this last episode?
Well, here's the thing. Like, for me, I was blown away that we were able to get the third episode so fast. And so I was like, oh my God. It's like, it's like if you take edibles and you take another and then it all hits you at once.
Sure. Okay.
So it's like, oh my God, what's going on? But yeah, it was, that was awesome. I love the fact that we got it, like, not even a week later. But as far as like what I loved was, first of all, his performance throughout the episodes. From an actor's point of view, the work that he's doing he's one of the best actors of our generation, without a doubt. I mean, if you guys haven't seen him in Halston, which was, I think, on Netflix, if you haven't watched that, you should watch it because his performance is stunning. I mean, he's just incredible. The amount of depth and the weight that he's brought to this character again and adding to it, I mean, you feel like you've gone through the years with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And seeing him, not be the same man he was before, not jumping to the aid of everybody right away. That guy got his ass kicked, at the whale, butcher shop or whatever, and he didn't do anything about it. I mean, it's like, I like where it's going. I like everything about this. It's turning into kind of like Shane or like The Seekers or something like that, where you're dealing with broken people trying to do the right thing. And, he gets his moment of, his call to action, with Bail Organa, and then it kicks off, and now we're in the third episode. But as far as what happened in this episode for me, what I loved about it was I loved the nightmare aspect of it. I mean, when I was a kid, I had nightmares that Darth Vader was chasing me, and that's how I felt, like him running around out there, in that deserty kind of area and hiding behind dunes and stuff. And I thought, it's kind of funny. He gets up, he's like, and then runs, but what else is he going to do? Right. I love the relationship that's building between him and Leia. I think it's great. I think she's a great little actor. Anybody who puts her down is, sure, there's a special place in hell for those people. Yeah. And I think that, I know, just kids, doing the thing.
I will say that her running reminds me of Phoebe from Friends.
Running is a thing in this show. There's a lot of strange running going on.
Ro really loves that joke.
It's true though. It's true. There's some funny running action going on. It's not Tom Cruise. It's not Tom Cruise running. This is like a whole other genre of running in film. But yeah, I thought I like the lightsaber battles. I thought they were great. I love Rita. I think Rita's great. I know there's a lot of backlash with her, which is extremely ridiculous and just awful. But I think she's a good villain. I think she's going to screw everything up, and it's going to make things a lot more interesting, I think, as we see, what happens to her as we go. And I thought, seeing Anakin, in on that dune in the distance, when he's having that little flashback of, sure, that's just
I mean, you can
Primo.
really tell, you mentioned Ewan McGregor's acting. I think there are certain subtleties in his face and his reactions and things like that, especially when the camera gets close up on him,
Yeah.
you can really tell it's really, really fantastic. And a lot of those micro expressions give you such an incredible perspective on what he's going through. And I love that.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is, like, a lot of actors, when they're creating a role, are like, a lot of times you're creating it out of nothing, or you're building it, you're grabbing from certain things around you. You're grabbing certain things around around you that you can relate to, that the character might be similar to the character. But with this, he's able to pull from old things that he did, and I think that gives it so much more weight.
Yeah. And we kind of have a history with the character as well. The actor obviously does, because he lived it, but we do as well through the prequels. And obviously the original trilogy, we've had this character from the get-go, but just something about his portrayal of Obi-Wan during this period is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, I was going to say, and if you look at it, I think from episode 1 till now, I think he's brought himself closer and closer and closer to Alec Guinness's performance of Obi-Wan.
Absolutely.
I think he's paced himself on how he didn't immediately, as a however old Obi-Wan's 20 years old, however he's supposed to be in, he didn't go full Alec Guinness in episode 1. But if you look at his mannerisms as time has gone on and as the story's progressed, he's made himself more and more like Alec Guinness. So it's going to be a seamless transition once you get to episode 4. And I think that's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah, that, and the fact also that he's, an executive producer on the show. So he's got a lot more responsibility. He really wants to knock it out of the park, and because it's all on him.
Right. Highly invested.
Yeah, very, very, for sure.
At this point, you really can tell that Obi-Wan is scared shitless, especially during, Vader's little sequence there on that mining colony town.
Unreal.
Unreal. I posted something a while ago that my son and I were watching it, and at that point, during the brutal scene, after the fire and the coals and the village, my son just jumped up and said, "How the hell is this on Disney Plus?" I talked about this when we did our review of the Book of Boba Fett, and I was afraid that Disney was going to kind of water down some of the characters, and I think they kind of did with Boba Fett. I was really afraid and cautious to see what they were going to do with Darth Vader when he came into the fold here. But kudos, and I'm glad I was proven wrong, because I have never seen Vader so brutal. I mean, in the live action, obviously, he's been brutal in the comic books and some of the other medium, but
so we had the hallway scene in Rogue One,
yes,
which solidified him. I mean, he was always solidified as a badass, but it further solidified him as a badass. We had that in Rogue One, and now this, just to see his cruel side.
Yeah, but also don't forget, in A New Hope, the first time we see him, he's strangling a guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he. I think they've done a great job with the nightmare aspect of him right now, and with the Rogue One scene always blew me away. I watched that and I'm still like, God, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
you felt the terror that those rebel soldiers were going through.
Right, especially that last one when he realized that he couldn't get that door open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then with the Obi-Wan episode, they just like cranked it up so much.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is insane.
I mean,
I loved every second of it.
Yeah, pulling dads out of the window and killing them, and the son, going after dad, and I mean, it was
shocked.
I was shocked.
It was
definitely.
Hey, John, I was gonna. I hadn't said it in a while, John. I wanted to share a theory that my kids had when they watched Rogue One. And I've mentioned this once or twice on the show, but the Rogue One scene. It's commonly thought that the door gets jammed But when my kids watched it, they immediately said, or one of my kids said, I think Vader's holding that door.
Oh, yes, I remember
that.
you telling that. Yeah.
When you look at it in that aspect, because once he stabs that last guy in the gut, the door just automatically opens like it was nothing. So when you think about that whole time, if he was holding that door in position that entire time while he was doing all that other stuff with his lightsaber and with the Force, that just puts a whole new level on that scene and makes him that much more terrifying, that much more powerful. I just thought, and that
I
was
gotta
for
go
my
watch
kids.
it again.
Yeah, and it'll just change how you watch the entire scene. Like, holy crap, in the back of his mind, he's just holding this door while he's doing all this other stuff. And
I
like
love it. I'll have to watch it again.
For kids to come up with that kind of stuff, it's amazing.
Yeah. During that chase scene in that what is that mining area, it reminded me of like Friday the 13th.
Oh,
like
totally.
Everywhere you turn, it's like, oh, there he is. Oh,
yeah.
It was really chilling.
The slow walk and the whole
slow
thing.
walk. Yeah,
Oh, that it's
absolutely.
dark. He's dressed all in
Yeah.
black. You don't know where he's coming from. I mean, it was completely imposing. It was done so well.
And Obi-Wan knows exactly how strong he is too.
Oh, yeah.
Probably at this point, he can sense it. I would imagine, right?
Oh, he can sense it and he can feel it. I mean, Vader was fighting Obi-Wan with one hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
I
entire
love the one hand.
that entire thing.
Because he fought the same way with Luke in Empire with one hand. It was
Right.
He used
So
two
good.
hands in Episode 4, and he went back to one hand in Empire. And I just thought that was great. So, do we want to talk about the elephant in the room? One of the criticism is, did this ruin? And we talked about this ahead of time. Did this ruin the dialogue in the Death Star dialogue, Episode 4? When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Did this sort of scene ruin that line? Or did it just add more context to it?
I want to get John's
added.
take on that because I know
I
we've
think-
talked about this before.
I'm not sure because I don't think Vader thought or knew that Obi-Wan was going to be in the kind of condition he was in until that moment.
Right.
So I don't know if they had enough. If he had enough time to think about that. Because I thought that it was going to go bang, like they were just it was going to be like crazy swordplay, but it wasn't. And I think Vader was a little kind of like, whoa, what's going on here for a second? Am I crazy thinking that?
No, I think you're right. I mean, you can tell there's a little bit of hesitation. There's a little bit of like, I'm going to play with you. I'm going to mess with you, but there is so much turmoil going in Vader's head, Vader / Anakin. I think early on, I was in Danny's chat. They were talking about it. And then she mentioned that Vader is not fully Vader at this point. Maybe there's still a little bit of Anakin inside him. Obviously, these, I know it's been 10 years, but there's this sense of, especially when they come face to face, when he comes face to face with Obi-Wan, he's reliving that. Somebody posted, I'm going to have to watch that scene again. Somebody posted a screenshot of Vader when the fire is in front of him. And they said, if you watch carefully, you can see that there's a latent image of the sword play in Revenge of the Sith when Anakin was burning. So there's definitely that revenge aspect that I'm going to get you back. And obviously through the actions that we saw in this episode, I mean, he was just like, tit for tat. I'm going to put you through the same shit that you put me through. So it's just amazing. Really great. I don't know. The scene was really great because it really, the movies were so cinematic in scope. I think this series, especially between these two characters, this is really going to be personal between Anakin, Vader, and Kenobi.
I think Luna Girl has a great comment in the chat. I think, of course, now that I'm agreeing with you, Luna Girl, I'm sorry, it's probably not gonna be happen because I've been wrong about all my predictions. But I like that. I like the Death Star being the third match. Kind of like the Muhammad Ali, George Foreman type fights where even now so Kenobi, he's been disconnected from the Force, and that's why he acted the way he did.
Right.
But he's getting it back now, and I think it would be classic if he whoops his ass again. And then the third time, Vader finally gets the upper hand and wins.
Agreed. And that's one of those criticisms that I'm like, I don't understand. He hasn't done this in 10 years. What are you expecting from this guy? I don't get it.
That's the thing. Yeah. I think it might even go to the point where, like in Rise of Skywalker or, I'm sorry, Revenge of the Sith, when Palpatine starts to transform, I'm thinking that there's going to be some kind of moment where they're fighting and like some serious energy and life gets sucked out of the both of them.
Ooh.
Because if you think about it, how old is he? Luke's what, 10 right now on the show?
Mm-hmm.
And how old was he in A New Hope?
19.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, I think that Obi-Wan needs to have some kind of aging happening.
Sure.
And I think that maybe like some kind of like, getting the power, maybe a power sucked out of them, or something happens between the two of them where they kind of lose a little bit of their juice in a big fight. I think that's what's going to happen. Almost like
Palpatine suffered physically when.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. I want to put up a comment from Dave Richards because I've seen this all over the place when they fight. But why didn't he lift him up during the rescue? The fire didn't seem that much higher. And Danny, I guess, has an answer, which I find satisfying. I think Vader at this point really wants to toy with Kenobi. He's looking at him when that loading droid is rescuing him. Vader just sits there and just watches. And I think at this point, Anakin / Vader, I'm going to continue doing that because I think he's not really, I'm kind of with Danny on this one. I don't think that he's completely 100% Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. I think there's still a little bit, of Anakin in there. But I think, he's troubled by all this. He does want to play with Obi-Wan. He wants to make him suffer. Obviously running his face through the burning coals was part of that. Right. But I do think that he wants to engage in the chase.
It's a cat and mouse game.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I agree.
I think there's something to that. I mean, it's possible that he could be toying with him there, I think,
And let's be honest. I mean, it's only the third episode. I mean, do we really want it to end that quickly right then and there? So it's always going to be for the dramatic effect too.
I mean, you can see his feelings on Obi-Wan going all the way back to episode 2, where, on Tatooine, where he says, he's holding me back. And, he has this temper tantrum there with Padme, his latent animosity towards Anakin or towards Obi-Wan's been there for quite some time now. So he's going to, like you guys are saying, he's going to want to play with his prey before he kills him. And that's a typical villain thing to do anyway. Is stories wouldn't be interesting if the villain just killed the hero. They have to toy with him for a while to make it interesting.
And it's like you said, it's been 10 years. He hasn't seen Obi-Wan in 10 years. So I would imagine now seeing him for the first time, he's going to be flooded with all this mix of emotions. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other points on this Vader Kenobi fight? I want to watch it again right now after we do this because.
Go ahead.
I do like the fact that they brought in the actress from Game of Thrones. That made me very happy.
Yeah,
I like her very much.
I can't remember her name though, but
I know what you're talking
about. Seeing her in the show is great.
Yeah. I want to touch on and Brad, I'm going to ask you about the safe house, the safe room. We have we have a mention of another Jedi that has not been in the live action. What do you think of that?
So they mentioned that's Quinlan Voss. So in episode 3, they briefly mentioned Quinlan Voss, that he's on Boss Pity. So you never see Quinlan in episode 3. So theoretically he could have survived, and so evidently he did survive Order 66. We see more of Quinlan Voss in the Clone Wars series. Didn't totally like the way they treated his character in that. They kind of made him stoner hippie sort of Jedi. I wasn't too fond of his treatment there, but in the stories in the books, he's pretty much a badass, and he's got powers like Rey does, where he can touch an object and see its entire history through the Force. I think Rose, you mentioned, or somebody said online that maybe Quinlan smuggled Grogu out of the Jedi Temple for during. But like I said, he was said to be on another planet. But you know how they hop, skip, and jump. You know, he could be on Pause Pity one minute and back on Coruscant the next. So you know, if they can connect him to that, that would be awesome. I would love to see him on screen. You actually do see him. Apparently, you see him for about 1 second in episode 1. He is on Tatooine. He's hanging out outside. You can see screenshots. People have circled his face. Yeah. He's got the mark across his face, the yellow mark across his face. You can see him there, but I would love for them. I'd be interested to see what actor they got for that part. But that would be an amazing addition to the show.
Apparently, there's a rumor because the actor has actually kind of hinted at Ice Cube's son is in this series, and there's a rumor that he's the one playing Quinlan Vos if they introduce it. But I thought it was interesting to name drop him at this particular point in the show. You know, Obi-Wan walks over to the door and the wall and says Quinlan was here. Oh. I think
what an impression.
I'm paraphrasing. But it's kind of cool though. I mean, it's almost like kind of an underground railroad, you know, kind of process. You've got, you know, God knows who coming through here saving, you know, who are they saving? Like you know, like you said, are they saving, you know, young Force sensitives? Are they saving other Jedi? I think there's a whole story here that is worth exploring. I'm really excited about it.
I did read,
that was
and I'm
cool
glad
talk.
I'm glad they didn't do this. And please tell me if you agree. I did read somewhere that there was going to be supposedly some sort of hint that the one from Game of Thrones that was helping them out was going to be a love interest for Kenobi.
Oh, that was I read that, and we don't need that.
What's with all the shipping in Star Wars? I don't get it. Really don't. There's like no time for this.
Who let the 12-year-olds in the room?
Yeah, there's no time for this, man. I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Yeah.
Just I will say I like. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, just a quick reminder at the end of the broadcast, I'm going to give out a digital code for Dune. Stick around if you haven't seen the movie. It's really great so far. I haven't finished it yet. It's really
I guess I got to rewatch. I'm gonna try to get the digital code because I don't know if I'd pay for it again, but I just thought it was so boring. But I don't know. I'm not artsy enough for that movie. I guess I don't know.
There you go.
My kids liked it. I almost fell asleep.
I loved it.
Apparently, my imitation was a hit there.
It was good. I was impressed.
Don't encourage him, Tina.
Let's see what else we got.
I liked Reva a lot more in this.
Oh
episode,
yeah,
by the way. I really
did.
She's
starting to grow on me.
I want to preface it by saying I'm not hating on her at all. I was just slightly annoyed by her in the first 2 episodes just because of her constant, you know,
exuberance,
yelling. I've never been the kind of person who likes a villain that's constantly doing that because it actually doesn't make you scary for me. It just makes you look whiny. Right. She was so much more subdued in this episode. Yeah. And I liked it so much better. It made her really seem like somebody to mess with or not to mess with.
Right.
And I like her speaking with Vader, which was really, that's another thing. I loved watching him suit up.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Watching him suit up and the breathing.
Yeah. And then that conversation that he had with her, I love how it's, you know, it's like the traditional Sith way of doing business. You know, he tells her, hey, you do this, the job of Grand Inquisitor is yours. Yeah. So just like the Sith have always done, pitting the Inquisitors against each other, that is a very Sith-like thing for Vader to do.
I guess the Inquisitors don't have a 401k plan.
No.
They don't last long ugh.
So this is the only show where we talk about 401ks and edibles in the same show.
I was going to
Yeah.
One of the things that I do noticed, which I'll agree with you guys, is I think Riva was she's starting to grow on me. I think her I don't know, the way that she's kind of dealing with stuff is especially at the end when she kind of I know people are ragging on how did she find the other end of the tunnel, but I mean, she's resourceful. She's, whatever. I love the way she interacted with the other Inquisitors. And when, she basically said, send the probes out, do it now. I love that. Was really powerful. That was great. I know a lot of people are trying to still figure out her motivations. I think she has some sort of personal vendetta, not only with the Jedi, but with Kenobi personally himself. And like I said, I think this series is going to deal with more personal relationships between these characters than more of a global, galactic type of situation. What do you guys think?
So you have to remember, most of these Inquisitors, if not all, were Jedi at some point,
right?
Stolen as babies or younglings. And so that being said, with this personal vendetta that she obviously has against Obi-Wan, he must have I guess she's one back to tank away from having some good flashbacks. But I'm guessing he may have had the opportunity to save her, possibly, and didn't.
Right.
So there's something personal. So some people are complaining about how much backstory we're getting on characters these days. I think this one does warrant a little backstory to figure out why she, and I hope it comes through in dialogue, though, not through flashbacks. So, so I see it there. I hope it comes through in dialogue, though, but I think he may have had the opportunity to save her at one point and for whatever reason didn't.
Yeah, I think she's very bitter about everything that happened.
I agree, especially after how the series started with the Order 66 and the kids.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's definitely the monkey wrench, in the show. It's like, what is she going to screw up? She's going to screw something up, and it's going to be interesting to see what her storyline is going to be. Yeah. I think she's great.
I'm along for the ride. Yeah.
I'm
do you
down.
think she's interesting?
I do feel that, because this is kind of like Disney's little MO. I mean, I do feel that there's going to be a point in time when there's some sort of redemption for Riva.
At first, I had to look to see if she was the same character from Jedi Fallen Order, because she had a dark past. It's not the same character, just so
right.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Yeah.
But I think
it'd be great. I think it'd be great if they didn't do that. But I think I think you're probably going to see that happen.
Yeah, probably. Especially because I know I think one of the writers kind of teased the fact that everybody's talking about the Grand Inquisitor character died in Rebels and what the hell's going on and canon this and whatever. He basically said, we're not messing with canon. Just hold your horses. We'll explain it all. Which, I mean, we're halfway into the show, but somebody had posted that the Grand Inquisitor was in title only, and maybe this Grand Inquisitor was of the same species, and he just doesn't look like the guy in Rebels, but maybe the guy in Rebels is coming to replace him as Grand Inquisitor, and here we go. I think that's
there could be more than one Grand Inquisitor.
Right.
Kind of like more than one general, or
Right, exactly. I mean, I don't understand why people thought that was literally his name. I always took it as a title.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't take it as a title because the character kind of looks the same, and I know, he's got the spinning lightsaber, he's got the outfit. It's kind of like a carbon copy of the animated series character. But one of the things that I was really that tied me to this was his line in Rebels when he fell to his death, and he says some things are worse, some fates are worse than death. And obviously he was talking about dealing with Darth Vader when it came to failure. At the time he was not he was failing to capture these rebels in the animated show. And he said, fuck it, I'll just kill myself because I'd rather die than deal with Vader.
Right.
So I always thought that there was going to be some sort of conversation between the Grand Inquisitor and Vader in this series to help explain what he meant. And we might still have it, because I know Dave Filoni, he loves to put these things out there and then pick them up, years later. So I'm really hoping that we do see some sort of conversation between the two characters to really explain. I mean, when Riva was talking to Vader, he's like, I don't care about the Grand Inquisitor. If you fail me, you will know the meaning of suffering. So I think that's part of what I want to hear from a conversation between him and the Inquisitor. I think the Inquisitor is a great character overall. And I would love to see, Vader and him kind of talk, because I want to make sure that Vader maintains his supremacy within the Inquisitorius there. I want him to be like, don't forget, I'm the one that's that made you guys, and I can take you out with the snap of the finger. So I want to continue that rage, that fear, that evil thread throughout this thing with those characters.
The only thing I will say, because they said that there's already talk of a season 2 now, I do hope they don't drag it out to season 2. I do think they need to provide an explanation for the Grand Inquisitor before this season wraps up.
Yeah, I think they will.
Because that actually would piss me off a little bit.
And I think somebody also posted not to believe the rumors that were coming from whatever websites started to spread the season 2 rumors.
I hope they don't do it season 2. I don't think they were going to need to.
Yeah.
I personally don't want it. I don't mind this being just a mini series and that's all we get.
Sure.
Do you think we're going to get a Sith fight? Do you think we're going to get to see Reva maybe throw down with Vader? Or
oh man,
that'd be good. I'd like to see that. That'd be cool.
So if that happens, I want Vader to take care of Reva without even a struggle.
Yeah.
I don't want to. For those who haven't, by the way, if you haven't played Fallen Order, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You should have played Fallen Order already. I don't want to spoil too much of that, but if Reva did end up siding with Obi-Wan, I don't want to give away too much. It would be very much like something that happened in Fallen Order, so I would rather not that to happen. I like what Dave said in the chat. I like Grand Inquisitor coming back, and he's the one that actually kills Reva in the show. That's a possibility.
I'm like John. I like my villains to be villains. I don't always want them to be redeemed. Like, please let her just be a vicious villain.
Yeah. I think she's a loose cannon.
Yeah, that's why I like
Absolutely.
her. So
she's a problem, guys. She's a problem.
Exactly. Let her be that way.
When did all this redemption stuff start? I mean, obviously, I know we got redemption
Return
in
of
the
the Jedi
trilogy. Yeah, I guess.
But not every villain. Let the like Shanti said, let the villain be the villain.
Yeah.
That has been Disney's thing lately, and I mentioned this on a stream last Sunday that did we need a Cruella movie? Do I need to have sympathy
Maleficent.
for a character that later on is gonna go torture puppies to make a coat? Did I need the entire story of Maleficent and then it completely changes the story of Sleeping Beauty? Like, I don't want that. If not, it's not realistic. I'm sorry. Sure. I know it's a movie. I know it's a TV show and it's fantasy, but at the end of the day, there is good and there is evil. Plain and simple. Leave it that way.
Yeah, Josh mentioned it in the chat. We were talking about Fallen Order here. The trailer just came out for during celebration for the sequel to Fallen Order, which also looks like it has the Grand Inquisitor on it. Mm-hmm. So he's making his rounds across all media. So that's also a exciting thing. And I'm also waiting for them to come up with a Lola toy. I'm going to need that droid.
It's coming.
Oh my God!
I'm sure.
In multiple different forms.
Yep. Absolutely. Speaking of gaming, I want to remind everybody in the chat, if you have not already heard, looks like it's mostly our friends, but if you're watching this and you have not heard, please go follow our Red 5 Gaming on Twitter and Twitch. Shanti, tell us a little bit about what you guys do over there.
Game. It's awesome. No, we have several of our lovely members from Red 5 who every so often they are going on either Twitch or our Red 5 Gaming YouTube site, and they are literally, streaming themselves gaming. And for instance, myself and Kelly and Amanda, we have been playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, the PC game, with our, lovely member 97 Bravo, and it's been a lot of fun. It's fun to watch, it's fun to play, and I don't know what else to say. Go follow Red 5 Gaming. It's been an absolute blast.
Very nice.
We got Fortnite going on. We got Fallen Order. We have Brady from Escape Pod playing Grand Theft Auto, which is absolutely hysterical. Blake's been playing Madden. I mean, it's just been another way for us to just connect and be nerdy, and I just absolutely love it. So check it out, please.
John, do you game?
No, I don't. But I do have my kid's Xbox One, which has Battlefront on it. So I've been, and I put it in my studio. That's right behind me. So I've been dabbling.
Dabbling?
Sure.
He was going to say that.
I suck at it. I mean, I cannot, I don't have the eye-hand coordination for it. So it's like, I don't know if there's something you can learn.
It's also not a good game, John.
Is it? I don't know. It's kind of fun. I don't know.
I love it because it's Star Wars, but it's not a good game. It's
okay. I missed out on the whole gaming thing. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing theater, I think, when all the gaming stuff was happening. So I never caught on.
And look where that got you, John.
I know. It got me, yeah.
Oh.
Look where I am.
Don't worry, John. Me and my friend Kelly were constantly jumping off ledges and killing ourselves in the game, so don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, I'll start watching you so I can figure out how to do it.
It's a great game. Thoroughly enjoying it.
Cool.
I'm still playing Need for Speed from 2001.
Still row?
Yeah, that's all I play. That's all I play. Oh man. Well, all right, Brad. We have that one question, and what I'm gonna do is, Brad, you're gonna go ahead and say the question, but everybody in the chat, pay attention. You're gonna have to DM us the answer, giving away a digital code of Dune here, but you're gonna have to DM Scarif Podcast the answer, and the first one I get. No, maybe we'll do that. No. Let's. You guys can go ahead and answer in the chat. The first one in the chat will get the code.
How about everybody that answers it right? You just randomize it.
All right.
I don't know. Whatever.
But
answers.
it's a one question century mode, right?
Yes. All right. So we've been talking about Obi-Wan, obviously the
entire
time.
Wait. Hold on. What? One question century mode.
This is Sentry Mode.
Next time John is on, we will give him the true Sentry Mode feeling. 5 questions, Star Wars trivia, and usually those are a lot of fun. But all right. Dude,
how fast you had that animation ready was amazing.
Oh, that's a touch of a button right here.
Middle of a sentence, you cut me off with Sentry Mode. Okay. All right. So, as I was saying, we've been talking about Obi-Wan this entire time. So, in Obi-Wan, one question Sentry Mode. In episode 4, A New Hope, what region of Tatooine did Obi-Wan tell Luke should not be traveled lightly? This region is not to be traveled lightly. What region was that? And we going for answers in the chat, Rose? Is that what we said?
Yeah, answers in the chat.
All right.
And
how about this? Spelling counts.
Spelling counts.
Ooh.
Yes. And I will not do an Obi-Wan imitation for this one.
Oh, that's not. Oh, not yet. This
At Room, you awake? Josh, give an answer.
Oh, looks like somebody got
Megan. No, I'm tired. She's so funny. Megan, thank you again for being our correspondent at Celebration. We can't thank you enough.
Looks like Josh is going to watch some Dune.
Only one. I know nothing. Tina, I love you.
Yep. The Jutland Wastes are not to be traveled lightly, is what he said.
Did he
very
spell it
quickly.
right?
He did
Is that
spell
how
it
you
correctly
spell
as
it?
well.
Congrats,
Okay.
Josh.
Yep.
Very good, Josh. A true nerd. Yep. So
Residents of Care Bear.
the Jutland Wastes are not to be traveled lightly.
Wow.
David.
Close my eyes.
It's eerie, isn't it?
Wow.
Excellent. Cool. So yeah, Josh, DM me. I'll give you the digital code. You'll be watching some Dune sometime soon. Excellent. I want to say a big thanks to all our patrons. We've got some wonderful friends that support us in all the wonderful things that we do. I want to play a quick little thank you video for our patrons that may be watching. Thank you so much, guys. All right, time for the big thank yous, podcast family, to those of you that support the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. Team Scarif gives you all a heartfelt thank you. Wonderful people who have found it in their hearts to support our show. We're super lucky to have you.
Hello there.
Folks like Amanda, Jedi Caligula 89, Joey Rosales, what up, Joey? The Salty Crew at the Salty Nerd Podcast, Alex and Matt. Super fan of many of the Red 5 pods, Nicholas Schaefer. Follow him at Backyard TARDIS. What's up, Nick? Our Star Wars Celebration friend, Chad at Hyperspace and Holocrons. Jay from Florida. Our other Floridian, Frank, at the Garrison level. Big thanks. And certainly not least, our executor level patrons, 97 Bravo and the Convergence Podcast. And Scott and Kim from the Used and Abused Podcast. Big thanks, you Red Fivers. Go give them a follow. Huge respects to all our patrons for your support. And if you want to become more involved in the Scarif Scuttlebutt community and feel like becoming a patron, head over to patreon.com/Scarif Scuttlebutt. And remember, we can't have the scuttle without the butt. Don't forget, it's always sunny on Scarif with patrons like you.
That's lovely.
And
That's really cool.
You're selling timeshares there, or it's parting gifts on
It's in
Wheel of
Miami.
Fortune while supplies last.
Too funny. While supplies last, we want to remind everybody that next month is Scarif Con. John, if you're in the Chicagoland area on July 23rd, we'd love to have a drink with you. We are having Scarif Con, our Red 5 fan meetup. There's a whole bunch of us coming to Murray's Caddy Shack in Rosemont. We're going to have a live podcast from 12 to 4. Dominic Pace from The Mandalorian Season 1 is going to be there. We're going to have some giveaways. We're going to have some food, some drinks, some awesome things. I'm trying to rent one of those 360 cameras that we all can get in there and then do a 360 GIF. And then, you know, just like they do at the Oscars, should be a lot of fun.
I feel like you're going to be the only one on there and you're not going to let anyone.
I know. I love those things. Absolutely. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of us coming. There's a lot of the podcasts from Red 5 Network coming and a lot of friends from Red 5, which should be great. I also, you know, obviously we have our patrons, but I also want to say a big thank you to Tina, Rapina, some folks that usually tweet and retweet a lot of our stuff, and our friend Abigail from the Manic Pixie Weirdo podcast. She just dropped a new episode, her relationship with science. So those are really good. Please check them out and check out the rest of the Red 5 family at bio.link/Red5. Over 37 podcasts now available on the Red 5 network. A little something for everybody. What else is going on? Let's go around the table and say hello there, starting with you, Brad.
I'm not saying it.
Loser.
No, I'm really excited for these last 3 episodes. I think we're in for quite the ride. If episode 3 brought it like it did, like I said, I wasn't expecting that this soon. So if that happened in episode 3, I think we're definitely in for a treat with these last 3 episodes. So keep your expectations at a responsible level and enjoy the rest of the show.
Shanti, what about you?
What was the question? I'm joking. Now, all I can say is please just keep saying it. Please have patience. If you love Star Wars as much as you do, can you please act like a Jedi in this case and just have some patience, please? Like, we're not done yet. I'm sorry that the episodes are not all being dropped at once, but relax. I think they're doing a great job. I think Ewan is doing a fantastic job as always. And Scarif After Dark, July 2nd. It's happening. So that's the only other thing I'll say about that. Did Ro freeze? Did I freeze?
I think he's frozen.
Okay.
He's
I've been
really
having
just
connection problems.
he's
Is that
really
a
just
picture?
if he's
Maybe
not
it's a
thinking,
picture he puts in front of the camera
Yes,
when he's
right.
napping.
Yes, we could take over. Oh,
oh
Ewan.
yes,
Oh no!
finally I can get a word in now.
Oh.
This is my show now.
All right, so I want to say something really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm the kind of person that whenever I meet somebody, I always try to peg them. Not like,
Whoa,
who do they
whoa.
remind me of? Not that's
Whoa.
not what I meant. I'm sorry, it's not Scarif After Dark yet. John, I just realized who you remind me of. You look like Andrew McCarthy.
Really?
Oh,
That's
he's
funny.
back.
I've never gotten that one. That's
Really?
a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I usually get? I usually get Kevin Bacon,
Really?
Timothy Hutton, but recently I've been some guy at Universal Studios thought I was Ewan McGregor.
I can see that.
Yeah.
How
I had a
funny.
little bit more of my beard in, and
Okay.
I was wearing a hat, and he thought for sure, and I was like, "No, man, it's not
You're
it."
like, I wished.
I wish. Yeah.
Bro, we were having such a good time without you.
I
I
know,
finally got to
man.
talk.
Sorry we missed you. Man.
Something went on with my internet connection there.
It was a great still frame though of you. You were
It
very
was.
defensive on there.
Very nice. I was doing my best Obi-Wan still frame. Awesome. All right. What did I miss? Everybody
Nothing.
everybody
Pegging.
said where folks can find
Pegging.
everybody.
Yes, that was
Oh
it.
yeah,
Just
I'm on
begging.
Twitter.
You can find me
There
on
you are.
Twitter too.
Mhm.
Oh, didn't you have I thought you had a project that you were involved with, John, recently?
There's a couple. There's a series that I'm working on called Civil Disobedience, which is still shooting. And it's doing pretty well. It's like they've been premiering some stuff at some festivals, and they're getting some accolades for it, which is nice.
Very nice.
I'm also attached to a horror film called Campfire that has an incredible cast, and they're still in pre-production, so it's taking a little while to get the ball rolling, but hopefully we'll be shooting that soon. I'm excited about that one. Other than that, nothing much going on, but if you guys would like to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, it's at John J. Tag. I'd love to follow you back.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, that concludes our Scarif Live on episode, or I guess part 3 of Kenobi. We are halfway through the show, through the series, and it's going to get. I hope they start to. Well, I hope they don't start to ramp up. It's already been ramped up. It's where can they go now, right?
Exactly.
Very exciting. Very exciting. So I guess we will meet you back here next weekend when we talk about the next episode of the Kenobi series on Disney Plus. I'm very excited and very excited to see what else comes down the pipeline. I know we got some other Star Wars shows that have been announced and some other geek stuff. Brad, I know you've said it before. What is that saying that you've always saying?
It's a great time to be a geek.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Everybody in the chat, I love you guys. We love you all. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Scarif Podcast. And remember, that's Brad, John, and Shanti. I'm Ro. That's the Scuttlebutt, baby. Remember, Star Wars fans, don't be racist.